I once was a dirty hippie. Now I'm just a hippie. uh, this is Throwback Thursday, and I had written some stuff down to talk about last night, but I don't know. I feel like I've already kind of touched on it, and I just don't think it warrants like going over again. Like it's getting tough, I will say. We're 83 episodes in now, and I keep finding myself wanting to tell stories that I've already told, but forgotten things about. So I'm going to break this down into two tonight, or maybe just one slightly extended one. So last night, I don't know why I wrote this down. I'd had a little bit to drink, I think. Being an artist is painful, and the decisions hurt sometimes. I don't even know exactly what that means and why I wrote it. But I do understand the painful part of it. Like, maybe I'm the only one that does this, but sometimes, like, when I'm creating, I can't get what I want to get out. I can't get it across, and it's just those days are bad and painful art days. They're days that like I can't concentrate enough to take what's in my head and put it on paper, or well, pretty much paper. I mean, I really don't do a lot of other mediums. I would love to get into painting. I'd love to turn this office into just a paint studio with canvases and just, you know, tons of like easels set up that I could just move from painting to painting while one's drying and stuff. But I don't have the money to do something like that. Eventually, I'm hoping that like maybe next year with taxes or something like that. It's always waiting for taxes. But I'm thinking next year, because of my 7-star design business, a lot of that is a write-off because I can consider that for the business. Because whether I'm practicing to learn a new art form or I'm buying a printer to print out stuff that I can ink or whatever, like, it's a pretty sweet deal. And I highly recommend people who haven't done something like this should do it. Go to your local city hall, ask them, or just look into it. And within less than an hour one day, I was set up. $10 for the name to do the search for it, and I was a business. I had a tax ID number, and so everything I do, like the worm book that I just did, The Adventures of Squirmy Wormy, and you know, anything that was related to that. If I go to Mysticon and I stay at the hotel, that's a write-off. Like, I don't think people realize this. Like if you don't post, I don't know how they phrase it. I think it's if you don't post gains in 3 years, you're more likely to be audited. But I mean, everything's legitimate. I'm not like my computer. I built this computer and I wrote it off because I needed a computer for the business. Now what I'm doing right here is part of 7-star design. So next year, the camera, I will write that off because it's part of my business. This is produced by 7-star designs. That's how I get away with it. And I'm not saying there's a loophole or anything like that. I'm just legitimately saying. So I recommend that. So next year, I'd really like to get some paints and some nice brushes and just set this room up and like get some stuff done, because I don't want to die never painting pictures, you know what I mean? Like, I want to paint more. I see friends of mine painting. I see Bob Ross painting when I watch his videos. I used to love him growing up. Like, ever since I was a kid, he just inspired me to create more art. Like, I'd been drawing long before I'd seen Bob Ross, but he's just such an inspiration for me as a person, even more than an artist. Because I mean, what he does was good. It was very good, but it's very generic. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing new and exciting. But like in my hands, I can feel and know how to create the way he's created. And I've done a little bit of painting with like I've bought like watercolors and acrylics, and just done it on like little things just when I had a little free time here and there. And it comes out, you know, like his techniques. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can't paint like he does, but given 6 months, I think I could get pretty good at stuff like that. Although I don't think I would want to do stuff like that. Like, I'd want to do kind of the stuff I'm doing with pencils and inks and markers on canvas. Like, I'd love to see that come to life in a new medium. And I guess I'm never going to have that opportunity unless I actually, you know, invest a little bit of money. So I'm going to do that. And if I could do it before next year, that would be great, because then it would be a write-off for next year. So this is Throwback Thursday. I didn't change up Thursday. The formula for Thursday is the same. I've been drawing a lot the last few days. But I wanted to talk about something that doesn't warrant a whole episode, but I'm going to post this under the Tales from the Chillroom as well. I know I haven't paid a lot of attention there. The problem with Tales from the Chillroom is this. A lot of the stories from Tales of the Chillroom are either offensive to either my family or involve illegal things that I don't know where the legality of talking about things that happened, almost 20 years ago, where they lie. So I don't want to talk about things that could A, embarrass me or my family, or B, that could go into a dark realm and stuff like that, because that's not what I'm about. You know that. I'm all about the smiles and laughs and dancing and singing in the rain, and I'm singing in the rain, motherfucker. So briefly, before I get back to something else I want to talk about, I want to talk about a pair of shorts I once owned. I was in, where was it? Carver, Mass? Plymouth, Mass? It was Newport. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think I was with Corey and Rob Burnt. We used to go to the Army-Navy stores a lot because you could get cheap, camouflage, purple, any kind of color cargo shorts you could ever imagine. Like, usually they were cut off, sometimes they were hemmed up and stuff like that. And I know cargo shorts aren't hip anymore, from what I understand, from what I'm hearing. But cargo shorts are very handy, and I want to buy more cargo pants because I have a lot of things on me. I have a lighter on me at all times. I have change. I have my phone. I have, you name it, any given time. There's notes in every pocket. Here, let's take a look. Here we go. I'll get back to the purple shorts in a second. Okay, so here's a list of books that my daughter needs recommended and required reading for school next year. Now, I could text myself or write a note on my phone. What is this? Oh, somebody bought a book the other day at my work that looked really interesting. Unfortunately, I think all four of the perspectives... Oh, let me tell you the title. The title is 4 Views on Hell. And it was a used book, and I went by and I was like, damn, sometimes at work, books come in, and I can't keep track of every used book that comes into the store. There's too many of them. This was one that I wish I had grabbed because I would really like to have read it. And it's just 4 people's views on hell. And I'm assuming they're mostly Christian views because it came from our religious section. Oh yeah, and I got a, let's see, here's a receipt for 26 cents. Yeah, 26 cents. I bought something for 26 cents that required that I get a receipt when I was done with it today. You know what it was? It was a school lesson plan book. It was sweet. I love the way it's laid out. It's very open-ended, so you can kind of fill in information as you go along. Not just about what's going on the daily, weekly routines, but also, the headers and everything about it was really good. And I homeschool my son Grayson, and I'll probably be starting Griffin pretty soon. And then here's the address for the UVA radiation center that I got to bring my mother to twice next week. That's 6 hours of driving next week. I don't mind driving. This is a weird thing. This is very strange. I don't mind driving alone for multitude of hours. I really like it a lot. When I not too long ago, maybe 3 years ago, I drove my mother down to South Carolina. I stayed there for about an hour visiting my family, and then I drove back. That was a 16-hour round trip. Towards the end, I was done. I'd never driven that much in one day in my life. 12 hours is the absolute most. 8 hours is my comfort. I don't even want to say comfortable, but I can do 8 hours and not feel too fatigued. I can get there, maybe just wash my face, have something to eat, and I'm good to go. I can go hang out or something like that. After 8 hours, it starts going downhill. After 12 hours, it gets dangerous for me to be behind the wheel. So, we were at this Army-Navy store in Newport, Rhode Island. Newport is just a fun place to be. Also, Thayer Street in Providence. If you're ever in the area, that's a cool place to check out. But in this case, we were in Newport. Newport just has... Actually, I'm trying to remember Newport now. I don't remember where I was when I actually got the shorts, which store, but it was an Army-Navy store in Newport, Rhode Island. And I've always liked a Well, I've shown you the purple that I like. It's like a almost like an ashy, darker purple, more blue than red. Um, these caught my fancy, and I bought a few pair of them. One pair stuck around for a very long time, mainly because of the material. Mostly Army Navy cargo pants and shorts have more of a thicker, heavier, um, they're military pants. They're military issue. I don't know who needs purple military pants in the Army. I'm sure these were dyed or something like that. But I wore them and it was like, I don't know, like Superman putting on the cape for the first time, or Batman donning the cowl. Like, I'm not saying I became a superhero by any means, but I became the GEYCEN. And I didn't, I mean, I know that sounds weird and crazy and wacky, and I've told you all about the evolution of my name from JASON to GEYCEN. Well, these shorts, strangely enough, I know this sounds crazy, but they were a big part of that transition. Like, they became a part of me to the point where I was wearing them pretty much every day for a very long time. Yes, they would get washed. I'm not saying they didn't get washed. Not as much as they should have. I probably didn't get washed as much as I should have either. So the combination of wearing these shorts, commando of course, and not washing the shorts often, there was some issues going on. Not really recognizable issues. Not like anybody was ever like, oh my god, he stinks, he needs to get changed. But I was never a very active person. I weighed like 135 pounds when I wore these. They barely stood on me as it is. They had like these buttons that you could adjust to tighten and loosen them. I had them tightened as much as I could, and they were still falling off. Especially when I used to wear like heavy wallet chains. Not ridiculous. There was some kids back in the day that would wear these just ginormous, stupid wallet chains, and it would be pulling their pants down. Come on. To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal, light up the stage, and wax a chump like a candle. Dance. So they became, I always said, if there was a action figure made of me, it would look like this. If it was from the 90s, like the early 90s. Green 6-hole Doc Martens. Not any green though, not bright green. I had a moss pair with a very thin black strip around the ankle. 6 holes, so they weren't too tall. Socks roll down, white, never stripes. Purple shorts, of course. Duh. Wallet chain. Simple, with a brown wallet. I know this is weird. I know this is silly and crazy, but you know by now that I'm silly and crazy sometimes. And the shirt could have gone one of many ways. Wife beater. Certainly, I wore a wife beater a lot. Oftentimes, though, I'd wear a collared shirt. Usually silver or black. I don't know why. It was just, at the time, it looked good with the purple, I guess. Bleach blonde hair with 2 purple streaks. Just these 2 are always purple. Like, I always had bleach blonde hair. I remember, actually, I forgot to scan it in. Oh, damn it. I remember I was talking about these a few weeks ago, those pictures I had. I'll try to find them again. From, like, let's say 94, 95. Let's say 95. From 95 to about 99, I would say. 98, 99, and then I went back to it. My hair was about shoulder length, bleach blonde, white blonde. I wanted it as light as I could get it. I fried my hair back in the day, and 2 purple bangs. That was it. And I was just like my look. And goggles quite often accompanied it. So if you saw me back in the day, it was almost like a logo in a way. When you see a logo, you associate the Nike swoosh with, or the Nike swoosh if you're from Australia, with the brand. Well, it was almost like that with my look. Like, unfortunately, it's kind of gross because, well, I changed my shirt every day and put on deodorant. I wasn't that dirty of a hippie. But the shorts were staples. I had other pair of purple shorts that occasionally I would wear while the other ones were, I was washing them or whatever. But not often. Like, it would be like, okay, I'll wear these for the day, wash them, boom, right back to the other ones. I have them, and I'll show you them next time I get up to the attic or wherever they are. I can't remember where they are. But I can never wear them now. The crotch is pretty much worn to nothing. There's a hole in the ass, about that big. But I can't get rid of those. They're like old photographs of a family, or an old diary, or like my father's war journal. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not. Well, I guess, yeah, I'd say I'm equally sentimentally attached to both. And I know that's weird, like I shouldn't be attached to a piece of clothing, but It's the only piece of clothing that I have that I'd say I have an emotional attachment to. I have a lot of shoes that I've kept, a lot of things that I shouldn't keep, that I should get rid of, but those shorts, I'll take to the grave. They're not going anywhere. They're awesome. They're just, they hold a piece of my life in them, like a time frame. I can look at them and remember things and go, wow, man, those were my shorts at the time. And I know it's creepy and gross because, I wore them a lot. But, if I could ever get to the point where I could wear them again, I probably wouldn't. But if I could find another pair similar to them in better condition, I'd buy them. Purple shorts? Oh, I'd wear purple shorts all the time. I'd go find. I actually found a pair of Keens. If you guys don't know about Keens, they make like hiking shoes. Actually, they make all kinds of shoes, but they're known mostly for their outdoor, leather, weatherproof shoes. And I had this green pair that they don't make the style. I hate shoe companies. Fuck you, shoe companies. Skechers and Keens, you can go to hell. You know why? Because I have two pair of shoes I still have from 97, 98. Skechers, they're called Comfort Walkers, and the actual model number or model type is I can't remember, but it's a very specific pair, the most comfortable shoes I've ever owned, and they almost became the replacement for like the green this is a dumb story, I'm sorry, the green moss green Doc Martens that I had, the 6-hole ones. And I wore them ever since. They're comfortable. I love them. I love the look of them. They're squared off at the toe, but they're really wide too. And they got a bit of nice little curvature at the end. They're comfortable shoes. I love them. Keens. They were the only pair of shoes that I've found since having those shoes that I loved as much with shorts. I can't wear the Skechers with shorts because they're almost more of a shoe than a sneaker. They're borderline, but I'd say they're more shoe than sneaker. So shoes and shorts looks a little weird to me. Sneakers and pants, I've never been a sneaker and pants guy. I can't wear sneakers with pants. I have to wear shoes. I just feel like, I don't know, I'm dressed down enough as it is. I've got jeans on. They probably have holes or they're all worn out anyway. I love jeans. I don't wash my jeans. I will let my jeans go weeks before I wash them because they get so, if you wear jeans, if you have a pair of jeans or several pair of jeans that, I don't know, yeah. Sorry about that. Dear God, 17 minutes. Okay, so last thing I want to talk about tonight. So there's your throwback Thursday. Purple shorts of a waif-like king. Actually, there's a story. Don't search for it because it's embarrassing. Incredibly embarrassing. Disgustingly embarrassing. Where is it? Okay. I need to find a way to get that offline because there's some old, really shitty stuff that I wrote online, like just dumb young kid stuff that I wasn't thinking when I wrote it, and now I wish I could just get rid of it, but when it's out there, I guess it's there forever. Anywho, I want to talk just briefly. A long time ago I mentioned him, and I want to mention him again. Colin Moriarty. He is on the Game Over Greggy show. They are roommates, I believe. Maybe not roommates, but they're best friends with Greg Miller over at IGN, which they're running a contest to get a job. And you bet your sweet ass I am going to submit something over there, because if I could win a job at IGN, and you'd be covering PAX, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to do everything in my power to get that job. Everything in my power. Colin Moriarty is a Republican and an atheist, which is a very interesting combination. He is the individual who turned me on to the idea of listening to the opposite side of the conversation. He's a very intelligent, kind, and an honest person. He may not say things that I agree with all the time, but he is by far one of the finest gentlemen I've ever had the honor of, watching. I've never met him, but hopefully I'll be working with him someday. I would love it. He's the one that gave me the concept of why do you continue to listen to MSNBC and all the more liberal news when you already know what they're going to say? I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to go into detail about it. But check him out. There's Conversations with Colin on YouTube, and you get to know him really well. There's probably maybe 40 or 50 episodes with him and Greg Miller. Somebody sends in a question to ask him, and then they go back and forth and talk about the topic. And sometimes they're 5-minute videos, sometimes they're half hour. But when it comes to politics and history, I believe he's a history major, and he worked in Boston for a while at one of the museums. And so he's just a neat guy. And so I keep meaning to tweet out to him and talk to him, because I respect him as a Republican, because he's willing to listen to the other side, and he's willing to really honestly work down the middle to, just bridge gaps and stuff like that. So yeah. So if you guys are loving these like I'm loving these, please subscribe to them. If you know anybody else who might like them, please pass them along via email, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever else. Have a great night, and if you guys are enjoying these, I'm really happy. Thanks for coming back every night. Don't forget to make somebody smile tomorrow, and make something better yourself. And let's make this world spin a little happier together. Okay? Have a great night, and here's to a few more awesome tomorrows.